inside the glass block, which means it continues to squirt, and it goes squirt and goes up to the top. So I think that if we open... Welcome back, everybody, to another episode. How are you doing today? I'm doing. Check out what I've been working on. So yeah, you know what's going on. I've been working on this, and it wasn't doing too well in the last episode, so I spent some time, and I kind of refined a little bit of the design. I think it looks a lot better. I changed the height of some of these pillars, so the ratio between the two seemed a little better. Like the bottom was really tall, and then the top layer was really short, so I heightened up the top layer a little bit, and added some roofing, so you can see what we're going to do for the roof. We got dark oak. I'm still going to kind of break this up and add some like holes and different wood types in here, but that is a step for another time. For now, I just wanted to show you a little bit of the progress that I've made on the inside and on the outside. So I've added a little bit of extra like wood types and stuff here and there. I think it looks pretty nice. And also I've kind of come up with a good style for what the roof is going to look like as well. Yeah, so I really like this side, how it's all broken up and there's the dark underneath that. Man, that looks really good. Anyway, yeah, I've just been doing, like I said, a bunch of little fine-tuning detail and whatnot. I like this little balcony. It's not done yet. I kind of want to add some supports underneath. But yeah, so you can see how I'm kind of like trying to break up these big walls by adding stuff. I'm going to put a window right there probably. I think that's working pretty well. Alright, well let's go check out the inside. A little bit of a problem here. I can't go around this way, so I got to make like a little bit of a bridge or something like that. I kind of want to just cover this in glass, and I'm pretty sure it won't affect the mob spawns. Anyway, let's go on the inside. I changed out a bunch of stuff in here, so we've got a sandstone floor now, which looks a lot better. Looks a lot more clean and everything. And I've been working on the inside here. So, kind of the plan for this building is to have storage and all of the technical stuff down below, and then have like a really nice aesthetic looking bedroom kind of AFK area up above. So I'm almost thinking about popping a door out like right here maybe. Let's pop through here and see. Oh, I kind of didn't want to come out right there, I guess. Yeah, so I kind of want to make like a little stone door entrance here that goes to like a dock. I want to have a dock here for boats and whatnot. And then this is how you'll get into the building. So this is like the normal, the main entrance to like the store. You know, if like a traveler was to come by and want some food. Then they'd come in here and they'd have this cool little, you know, viewpoint and stuff, centerpiece. And then they could walk around. And then I was thinking about maybe having like a, I don't know, like a villager hanging out here or something. But I think I might just skip all that. I think it's cool as it is. So yeah, anyway, let's walk up here. I'll show you the top. So it curves around, and we've got this kind of little balcony area, and this is how you get out here. Kind of like a little elytra launching platform or whatever. Then it comes up, and really janky and stuff, and I kind of want to keep that look. I kind of want to make it look like this is really old and you know, built by just some like an old couple or something, you know what I mean, that weren't skilled workers or whatever. So it's not like perfect. It's got like holes in it, and it's all rickety and stuff. I really like that. So the plan is that up here there's some weird spaces and stuff, so I'm going to try and figure out maybe like little attic crawl space areas and stuff. We can have some storage or whatever. And then, yeah, I think this room is probably just going to have a roof and then like not much going on in here. But then up here is going to be like the second story, and I think this is where our bedroom area is going to go. So yeah, anyway, I'm not going to work too much on this today because I've got a lot of thinking to do and a lot of like wood gathering and whatnot. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you what's going on and talk about what the next step of this whole project is, because there are a lot to it. This house is going to take a long time to build because all the detail I'm going to put into it, but it should look really cool. But for now, for this episode, at least the first part of it, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to build a little bit of a sugarcane farm. So if you saw the last episode, I was talking about a book factory. So we need a little bit of a sugarcane farm, and I've designed a couple of things in creative mode, but I haven't gotten really stuck on a design. So we're going to kind of like wing it here today in survival. I think it should be pretty fun. So I'm going to go get a bunch of materials. We need like a bunch of pistons and rails and yeah, just a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm going to go do that, and I will BRB with our new area, hopefully, somewhere. I don't know where it's going to go. Somewhere. Anyway, BRB. Okay, guys, real quick before we move on to the whole sugarcane deal. Sorry, I know I said I would be right back. I changed a couple more things back here, so I added these little curtains I thought was kind of cool. And then instead of the minecart, we're doing chests. I think that's a lot simpler, and we're going to go with planks. I think that that's probably the best way to do this. I did a little bit of like testing with some other stuff, as far as like what you can smell and everything. And I think that this is probably the most efficient because it's the easiest and the quickest, and it's one per item, which is pretty nice. And by the way, we are freaking rolling in drops right now. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that how much drops we have and everything. It's really crazy. And by the way, I got my first pink wool block. Check that out. So it took this much wool to get a pink sheep. And I think, what is the chance of that? It's like 0.03 or something like that. So it's pretty crazy. I don't know. I was just thinking that this might be like kind of a cool indicator of how long this farm has been running if we don't take wool out of these chests. Like we'll have a little pink thing. So if I could like calculate how long in between pink wool, I don't know. That would just, you know what I mean? It would kind of be like an interesting indicator. Yeah, we'll see if we ever get another one of those. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to show you that we are really rolling in the drops right now, and I am pretty excited to move on here and make our little book factory. Okay, I'll be RB. Okay, well, I've been thinking about this sugarcane farm for a while now, like quite a while, and I just keep going back and forth. I don't know what I want to do here, so I'm just going to do something a little bit funky, a little bit weird. So I mentioned that I had been working around in creative mode, trying to figure out sugarcane deals, and I had this weird idea to run a sugarcane farm off of a bud switch, which is, pretty common, but I guess I'll explain that in a second. So we got our storage down there. You see a couple chests. We don't need very much, but then there's this big line of hoppers, which I haven't really figured out what I want to do here yet. I might put paintings or something there. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Maybe some more wood. But anyway, we want our hoppers to be over on that side, so it means our output's going to be over there. And just for now, like I said, we'll probably cover this up at some point, but just for now, let's put that there. So I had the idea that I really like how this is like a centerpiece of that bottom room. And because we're not going to put too much up here in the top room, I think I'm going to make this the centerpiece of the top room, which means this is going to be a really small sugarcane farm. So part of the thing that I've been trying to figure out is, do I actually want to build like a big, awesome sugarcane farm? And the answer is no. I do not want to do that. I'm going to do something simple. Alrighty, so I guess, I think we should have blocks here. And then what about some lighting? Okay, so this is looking a little weird, but what's going to happen here is we're going to have hopper minecarts, and those are going to pull down the items, and you'll see what they're pulling them through in a second. Let's get both of these in here. Alright, and now we can put down another piece of light, and this is where our sand's going to be. Okay, so this is where our sugarcane is going to be hanging out. And if we drop items there, they can go into the hopper minecarts and down into those chests down below. Okay, now this is where it starts to get pretty interesting. So I'm going to build pretty much this whole thing on camera with you guys. And it should be really cool. Okay, I'm ready this time. Sticky. Slimy. Blocky block. Okay. And then where does this other stuff go? I think we're going to want some glass in here as well. So why don't we do that while we're doing this step. Okay, so this deal is a bud switch. If you weren't aware, every time something updates next to it, it'll activate. So we're going to use that as our signal, and we're going to put some normal pistons there that's going to break the sugar cane. Okay, you see what's going on now? Man, this is such a crazy thing. Okay, I haven't done any testing on this. I just built this and it works. I know it works, but I don't know if it's going to produce anything for us. So if this doesn't work, I might put another one above it and add like a little bit more to this tower. So there's some options here. We'll squeeze it in somewhere if it doesn't do what we want it to, which is just produce a little bit of sugarcane for us. Okay, I think we're going to have to power these somehow, so why don't we drop these down here. These could be normal blocks, which I think, you know what, I think I'm going to go with normal blocks because we have that one bit of cyan down there. Let's bring the cyan up a little bit so it kind of fits the theme. Okay, I really like cyan clay. It's like one of my favorite colors, one of my favorite blocks in the game. All right, so now we need these do need to be here because that slime block's going to come upwards. And then I think the way I had this built was just like so. Ooh, are those going to make noise every time this activates? That'd be cool. All right. I think it's done. I think that's like literally the whole farm done. Let's test it out. Oh, you know what would probably help? You guessed it. Whoa. I think it worked just then. Do you see that? Hold on. Hold on. We're gonna watch some of that. And one of those. Oh my gosh. Yeah, looks like it's working. Let's do one more little thing. Oh my gosh. Awesome. And they won't squirt out because we're gonna encase it in glass. Yeah, so maybe this room won't be used for very much, but I don't even care. This is gonna be really cool. So I think I'm gonna have to chop down some more wood. That's what I'm gonna have to do. So I'm gonna get some more wood so we can I'm gonna make pillars and whatnot. So we're gonna make this look kind of cool. I think we're gonna try and tie it in somehow, make it look structurally sound. Yeah, and it should be pretty interesting. So I'll be RB. Well, this is gonna be really cramped though, but like I've been saying, I don't think it's gonna matter. It's not bothering me at least at the moment. Let's see. But obviously, because the walls aren't in yet, but we'll see what it feels like once I throw those in, because it's going to be too wide around here basically. Yeah, it was going to come in even farther. I was going to put a lot more depth into the walls, but I'm going to make them a little more flat. We'll deal with the detail later. So it'll be too wide around here, so it's just barely big enough. I think that'll work just barely. And then probably do something like, maybe not spruce, because we've been using a lot of spruce. Maybe we'll go with sandstone again. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, this looks awesome, doesn't it? Obviously, we need to put this in here, like so. And we can't make this into glass panes, although that would make the depth a little nicer. Like, it would give it some depth to here. But, yeah, then the items wouldn't be on those blocks appropriately for the hoppers to pick them up. So I think, yeah, it's triggered a couple times since I've been building it. And, I mean, that I've heard, that I've been around for. So I think it's going to work. It's not going to be anything crazy, but, you know, it'll do the job. All right, and there you go. It just activated. We should probably go check the chest in a couple minutes and see if there's any down there. What? There's sugarcane on the roof. Okay, well, the glass is now a glass ceiling. Pretty awesome. I think it looks pretty good. I just kind of like feathered it in there a little bit, and I made sure not to like bring glass this way, just mycelium that way, if that makes any sense. Past the edge, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think it works out pretty well. And obviously we're blocking a couple of these spawn spaces. Like, check this out. We're barely not quite over on the grass on that one. Is this one on the grass? I think this one might be. Yep, that one's on a piece of grass. So a couple of these are above there, but you know what? I don't think it matters. If that really does affect the LC value, it's whatever. This thing works so freaking good anyway. If it's really messing with it, I can fix it, but I don't think it's going to, because we already have a layer of glass down there already. I was realizing I was really hesitant on building this because I was like, I don't want to put a roof on it. Well, there's already a roof on it, so it's not going to matter very much, is it? I mean, even though it's in like another sub chunk than that one, like it's higher up, I don't think it's going to affect it very much, but we'll see, of course. But, yep, got some animals in it. Sweet. Anyway, let's move on here for the day. I just wanted to show you that we finished that, and I think it's very satisfying. It still needs some lighting, which I haven't figured out yet. I was almost thinking about putting lighting underneath some of these, so it like comes up from underneath in the side. That'd be kind of cool. Anyway, still no sugarcane over in the chest. I think there's like one piece in there. So it's not producing at all. I think it's just a decorative display of redstone at this point. My God. We got a second piece of pink wool. This is the coolest farm ever built. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a pink wool farm. This is amazing. Yeah, so the sugarcane farm broken. Completely broken. You know, I tested this in creative, guys, I swear. I built this in creative. I built like 3 or 4 of them that were a little bit different than this. I mean, I built this one identically and a couple more that were slightly different, and none of them had this problem. None of them translocated. It was like happening too quick for the translocation to take place. It was like instantaneous. It was less than like a monostable pulse or whatever, which I thought you needed to translocate, but apparently not. Apparently it can happen really quickly like this, which sucks. I think it might be something different. It might be where it's like pushing it into that piston, and then that piston is translocating, you know what I mean? Instead of like it translocating it out that way, like it might be pushing it and translocating it out that way. You know, so I don't know if there's a way I can fix that. I was almost thinking maybe like I was talking about, I could actually make these into glass panes, right? And then put some more hopper stuff down there. So that's something we could try out, but I'm not too worried about it. I think it's cool. I don't know. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it in here because maybe they'll fix translocation. I really hope they do, like, obviously. But if not, it'll just be a cool little centerpiece for the room. I really think they should fix translocation, and my reason is because redstone needs to be intuitive, you know what I mean? Like, you need things to work how it seems like they would work, or else people are never gonna learn. They're gonna have to, like, watch tutorials and stuff, which is great, but you've got to be able to freaking learn for yourself sometimes, and having things that don't make sense like that really hurts the game, in my humble opinion. Anyway, like I said, hopefully they'll fix that soon. So we're gonna move on here. I just wanted to let you know that we failed miserably. But you can't win every time. You can't make a freaking super extra compact 3x3 Bud automatic AFKable fully powered supercharged sugarcane farm of doom every day. Can you? I've got it. I'll just make the whole floor out of hoppers. That'll solve the problem. I will not be beaten by translocation, so instead, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it to my benefit. So, I'm just screwing around at this point. My episode got totally messed up for other stuff reasons, so I'm just gonna screw around with this. Who knows if I'm actually gonna keep this, but anyway, so I might just be talking to myself here, but obviously if you're watching it, then it worked. So, I'm thinking about, let's put some sugarcane in there. Okay, so what I got going on is a couple rows of pistons. They're normal pistons. And the sugarcane is going to be blocked at 2 high. We could potentially do 3 high, but I don't think that's going to help us at all. That's something that I always see people make them 3 tall. And I think that it helps for some designs. God dang, race cars driving down a freaking residential street. Oh, I have no idea if you can hear that. But anyway, yeah, I always see people make them 3 tall. And that is good for like slime block stuff and things, because it'll break it all. But for this, we just want to cap it at 2 tall. So that's what I'm going to do. And then you can see that down in here, we've got our water. And then so here's the plan, is these are going to translocate over into the center. Okay, and then it's going to be washed into these hoppers. Okay, so I haven't really tested this out, but I'm pretty confident with the way that translocation is working that we'll be able to make this work. The only thing we're going to have to do is power all these pistons somehow. So I'm thinking we just put solid blocks across the top. Let's loop it around. Solid blocks across the top. I think that'll do what we want it to. Might as well make it even, and then let's cap it off so nobody falls in there. All right. Maybe stuff can spawn on the hoppers, but I think there's enough light down there. Okay. So, how do we wire this up? I think we're going to do it with a bud switch, because what else are we going to really do? You know what I mean? So let's open up some room. I guess we got to decide which side the bud switch is going to be on. And how exactly is it going to activate it all? This is all testing. We're doing all of this right here in front of you, figuring it out as we go. So I think maybe like something like that. Something like that. Could we even be super cheeky and like try this real quick? Okay. Well, I don't think any was grown yet. Alright, well, this has got to go temporarily at least. It'll probably come back, but for now, we definitely can't have that be a... No, that's not what I want. Solid block, it's got to be one of these deals. I like using these because they look cool. You could use other things, but I like those ones. And I think we're going to pop this out. Yeah, I think this is where we're going to put this. And obviously, this is underground, so it doesn't have to look very good. So let's try something like this. Is that going to do what we want it to? The slime block is not going to reach the stone. And yeah. So you see that bud action? So this is the best bud switch, and this can be whatever you want it to be. This could be a normal block or a slime block or anything. So you could put, normal block there if you don't want it to connect to something. And and it should work fine. There you go. But I think we're going to use a redstone block because we want to take that signal. We could take it from somewhere else. You know what? I'm going to save on redstone. Let's just make that a normal block. And we can take the signal from up above there. So we'll take it from right there. Okay, I'm figuring this out. I think we're going to have something pretty cool here. Just make it symmetrical, do that. And let's pop this out on the other side. So this will be able to be activated by 2 pieces of sugarcane, which isn't the best, but I think it'll do fine for the, the size of the farm and stuff we got going on here. And keep in mind too that this is our AFK spot, so it doesn't have to be great. It just needs to be, a little bit, just enough to keep up with our freaking leather and stuff. You know what I'm talking about. So, a button on your underwear. We're gonna put something like soap, like a soap, and maybe like that. Is that gonna work? We'll see if it works, but I might want to just do. Ooh, I'm gonna do redstone. And the reason for it is because I think that we want to keep that signal as basic as possible. No, is that not gonna? Oh, obviously, because it's right there. Okay, hold on. We can't take the bud signal and also power that piston because they're gonna quasi-connect. They're gonna be right next to each other. We can't do that. We've got to keep this as a lantern, and it's got to be open. And so I think our bud switch has to go right there, which means that instead of doing the sideways bud, like it goes off horizontally, I don't want to do that because then we'll mess with our nice stone wall. Because right behind here is like that thing. I want this to remain to be stone. So I think we're going to go for a different bud switch. This is why you got to learn this stuff, guys, is because it's so freaking handy. I'm serious. This is like one of the most used things in the game for me. Not like that. We want a redstone block. This is the other kind of bud switch. This is the vertical one. So we can pop this out and it'll activate. Ta-da! And the lantern comes with it. Do we care about that? We'll see if that matters. I don't think that's going to matter. Anyway, yeah, that's a bud switch like that. And so we can do the same thing on the other side. Stupid rain. Okay, well, this should be pretty easy. So we've got our things like that. And when that sugarcane grows, it's going to activate it and it's going to pop it up. So what I think I'm going to do is something like this. And then something like this. Is that going to do it? And then obviously we'd have redstone there, and then we'd need like a block. No, don't. You're freaking start with me, mister. I think we just messed everything up. We messed everything up. Hold on. We gotta retract it. Retract it. Is that gonna mess with stuff? So we've got this diagonally. I think that's gonna be okay. So I guess for now we've got to test it, right? Like so. Oh, did that actually do it? Did it do both sides? Let's watch. No, it didn't do the other side. Well, it's not the worst thing that it didn't do the other side, but why did it not do the other side? Or is it and we just can't see? Because there's sugarcane over here. And why is there sugarcane over here? We've got to... we might have to block it off a little bit. I'm starting to get a little nervous. I don't know if this is going to work. I'll get it. I will get it. I think that it just needs to be all blocked off and stuff. Okay, guys, well... Oh, I don't need that there. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so I ran into a bunch of issues here. One of them was like a technical bottleneck that I don't think that I can do anything about. I'm pretty sure it's like an unavoidable technical bottleneck. And that is, you cannot combine 2 signals. Speaking of which, I think we need to break that. We cannot combine 2 signals that both have individual bud switches. That doesn't work. You got to chain it together in a different way. At least with this particular arrangement. And the reason is because when one of the bud switch activates, it activates the other piston on the other side, which activates the other bud switch, and it creates an infinite loop. And because the game doesn't like infinite loops, like with torch burnout and everything, it just chooses a position and it locks it on. So one of these gets a single tick pulsed, and it does not retract back to normal, if that makes sense. That's some technical jargon for you, but that's essentially what's happening. So anyway... Okay, guys. Oh, I'm having one of those days where I just can't get words out of my brain and my face isn't wording. Okay, so let's get right in the middle of the block. And let's look right in the middle of the block. And we are going to sit here. Nope, not yet. Almost. Good enough. We are going to sit here until it activates and pulls sugarcane through the pistons with translocation and deposits it into our chest. So I will be RB after some sped up video, and we will see our success, because I will not be defeated by translocation. We will use it to our advantage. I'm just hoping that I'm going to be talking and then it's going to like fluidly transition into this working appropriately and you can see it happen. So let's just talk until it does. Anyway, I'm working in creative and I've noticed something with sugarcane growth. So I've been doing a bunch of testing with sugarcane farms, like trying to come up with what would be good for us here. Amazing. This is super cool. I'm just waiting for the left side to activate. The right side activated, but the left side is fully grown except for that one piece. And so in that one piece, or I guess there's two, but once that grows, it's going to be amazing. And now, oh my God, are you kidding me? Oh my God. That literally wasn't reaction. That was freaking random chance, guys. Oh my God, that was crazy. That was the first time I did it too. That wasn't like the 50th time saying that. That was like literally the first time. We freaking did it. We made a translocation sugarcane farm. This is awesome. Wow, this is awesome. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make a tutorial for this because this is just freaking amazing. It's all compact. It's using really cool game mechanics. It's super cool. So you guys could expect that coming up. But if you can't wait, you did just see me build it. I don't think that this is something. I don't think that that was from the thing. That was such horrible English. I was thinking about something and trying to say something at the same time, and that did not work. I'm pretty sure that that sugarcane there was because of the glass blocks. Because what's going on okay, so when you're doing item elevation stuff and it's squirting through the blocks, you know how it does when it elevates and it goes up? Well, the second it's inside a block, and I'll show you what I mean. The second it's inside a block, it starts to elevate, right? Whoops, that wasn't what I wanted to do. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's drop a block in here and squirt a block into it. So as soon as I place this, the item's going to start to elevate. Bam, it's like instantaneous. So that means as it's translocating through this stone block, that is coming into effect, right? For that split second, which makes it raise up to the top of the thing. And I think that some of those, because they're being like the sugarcane randomly pops off. So sometimes it pops upward, it pops off upwards and is translocated all the way at the top of this block, you know, as high up as it can be. And then because it goes through the elevation effect through the block, then it was inside the glass block, which means it continues to squirt and it goes squirt and goes up to the top. So I think that if we open that up, when it does that, it'll be still in the air and it'll be able to fall down into the thing. If that made any sense whatsoever. I hate this glitch. This is such a stupid glitch. Side note. Let's fix that right here, right now. I know exactly how I'm going to do it. Check this out. Oh, man. That is some weird glitch, and I think that they fixed that as well. That was something that I saw on the patch notes. If you didn't know, we are going to get an update soon. It's going to be any day now. It should be any day. It just has to go through certification testing. Yeah, but for now, this is an issue, and hopefully in the patch notes I saw, they said they fixed something with hoppers and how items don't get collected above them or something. That might be what they're talking about. We will see. For now, I'm just going to do this, and it'll work. Don't you worry. I mean, I think it'll just work like that, but I'm just going to put some pressure plates down, even though I don't think that that's really going to make a difference. I think it would have worked without them. Okay, and obviously those can't be wooden, or else they would block the hoppers from sucking up items. And then let's move this chest down. So yeah, that is pretty cool, guys. I'm pretty happy with that. I guess in the next episode, I might give you a little update and let you know how fast this was working, because it is pretty interesting. It'll be interesting to know the kind of rates on this deal, in case you want to build it yourself. And like I said, a tutorial will be coming, in case you want a quick little, snappy little explanation if I was a little bit confusing today. So yeah, I think that's going to do it. I'm just super happy with this. Once again, we conquered our freaking translocation issue. And that's always so satisfying when you run into a problem like that and then you're able to use it to your advantage. Oh man. And by the way, I'm not sure if I included this. I might have, but obviously if I'm talking about it now, I didn't. I fixed this farm as well slightly. I increased it from like 1% to like 60% efficiency. Check it out. So I just thought this was so funny. I had to show you. I broke the block behind here, and so they're translocating into the hopper now. Isn't that funny? Oh, you just saw it happen. That was such perfect timing. And they don't fly out. And if they did, obviously you could just put a block there to prevent it from happening, but they don't because they get picked up like instantly. That is so funny, guys. I just had to show you that. Like, man, we're solving problems left and right. So I could like pipe that hopper down into there, like no problem, but whatever. It's just a centerpiece anyway. I just thought it was super funny. Yeah, and then once they fix translocation, obviously patch it up, and then it's good to go, and it works fine. Cool. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for me for today. I'm running out of time for the episode. I recorded way too much today. But yeah, we were able to do something pretty interesting as far as I'm concerned. So let me know if you liked it. Hit the sub button if you want to see more stuff and things. And as always, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye-bye. So cool.